Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today and spending your Friday afternoon with us. I'm Parul Goswami, Senior Program Manager at DataLEADS. On behalf of DataLEADS, I extend a very warm welcome to all the participants, our esteemed speaker, and guests to our special webinar on developing collaboration and new tools to combat misinformation. Google News Initiative, training network led by DataLEADS, is conducting a series of special webinars for Indian journalists, media educators, and journalism students. These monthly webinars, they have special and unique topics, and the aim is to empower participants with the latest tools on fact-checking and approaches to combat misinformation. Before talking about the workshop, I would like to share about the Google News Initiative India Training Network. It is one of the world's biggest and the most impactful fact-checking training networks. Since the launch in 2018, the network has organized over 770 plus workshops, trained 39,000 plus journalists, media educators, and fact checkers and journalism students from over 2,300 newsrooms, media colleges in at least 10 languages. Recently, the network made a huge announcement. As we mark 4 years of the coming together of this collaboration, we are expanding this network to include 5 new languages: Punjabi, Assamese, Gujarati, Odia, and Malayalam. We are launching the Fact Check Academy and will be inducting 100 new trainers to help newsrooms and journalists build capacity to tackle climate misinformation and verify misleading data and claims that include false numbers. So if you're a journalist, a journalism professor, or a fact checker, and keen to join the network as a trainer and help your colleagues tackle misinformation by learning verification skills and techniques from the experts, then please apply, sharing the registration link in the chat box. Just a little housekeeping. This workshop is conducted in a webinar mode to avoid any disruption. So during the session, if you have any questions, please put them in a Q&A chat box. We will share it with our trainer and we will take as many questions as time permits. Today's webinar, Developing Collaboration and New Tools to Combat Misinformation, is very important and timely topic. Through this session and many more sessions, we aim to inspire conversations about fact-checking ecosystems around the world. So without further delay, we will hand over the power of time of to our trainer for today, Nikos Sarris. He's the Senior Researcher and Advisor on Media Tech at ATC Greece and Executive Board Member with the European Digital Media Observatory project. Nikos is a seasoned project leader with a proven track record of delivering impactful projects, focusing on the semantic understanding of news content and the assessment of its trustworthiness. He's coordinating the developments of 2 related products, that is Truth Nest and Truly Media. Thank you very much, Nikos, for joining us today. Over to you now.
Hello, and welcome from myself as well. May I share my screen now? Okay. I assume you can see the right screen. Okay, so thank you very much for your kind introduction. I will share my experience that we had setting up an observatory against disinformation through first the SOMA project, titled Social Observatory for Disinformation Social Media Analysis, and then going forward through the European Digital Media Observatory. So SOMA was a project that started in 2018 and operated for 30 months, 2.5 years, and had several objectives by building a research and innovation agenda and a roadmap, building a working group of stakeholders, a community, socioeconomic methodology. But basically what we wanted to focus on was building this European observatory for verifying content. And what was this? This was a place where we could have organizations with good intentions, so from various different backgrounds, being fact-checkers, media organizations, researchers, and so on, working together against this problem of disinformation that all of you are so much aware of. What we achieved was having around 100 members coming from 36 countries, which involved more than 200 individuals working together. These members were coming from many different disciplines. We had organizations from research centers, think tanks, NGOs, many fact-checking organizations, independent companies, IT companies, freelancers, associations, media literacy organizations, companies, media companies, and governmental entities. So a good mix of a multi-stakeholder group. And those organizations, those people worked together and carried out 26 collaborative investigations, which were published through the website of SOMA. Now, I would like to share my experience on how this worked out and how it didn't work out in some cases and what were the difficulties. It is in general a huge initiative. It is a difficult initiative as we have to cover many aspects. Something like that needs to truly be multidisciplinary. We need to understand all different sides of this information, as all of you know. It needs to be international. We have to have organizations from several countries and working on several languages. It has to be practical because we have to carry out specific investigations and deliver those investigations. At the same time, it has to be theoretical as well, because we have to study scientific aspects in many different areas. It has to be wide to offer availability of resources at all times. At the same time, it has to be also focused, because we have to focus in specific areas to show tangible results, tangible investigations. It has to be, the real problem is that people have to be engaged. We have to have people that will be able to respond to daily needs. And it has to be manageable. There has to be a central operations center that makes everything possible to work. And that is not easy. To do it right, it's a huge task, and resources must not be underestimated. Especially in the engagement part, that's one of the most important difficulties, because it's a wide and not a homogeneous community, and this cannot be easily engaged. We have different members that need to be treated in different ways. We have to have multiple tiers of participation, because some organizations, some people can get involved more than others and in different ways than others. There have to be specific recurring activities, or like reports, like the fact check of the day or the fact check of the week, of the month. Different tasks need to be centered around different members, because different members have different expertise and different levels of interest. Most of those organizations, as you all know, they're not lying around. They have their own work, and if you don't also enumerate them, you have to give them something to offer their time. They need to be motivated somehow. There needs to be an engaging team that will have to do that. And this team needs to have expertise and skills in various sectors, and it needs to be very well resourced. In the scientific research part, it's also important that we have to have access to data, as you all know, and this is difficult. Access to data is not it's not really possible to data of platforms, and we have been talking to social media platforms, to Facebook, to Meta now, to Twitter. And as you know, they are very reluctant. Now in the continuation of this effort in EDMO, we're getting closer to creating a safe haven where they will be providing such data to a specific set of organizations, but we're still not there. And of course, support for that is needed at a higher level. We had support from the European Commission, and that was especially important. We need time. Significant time is needed to achieve results, and there needs to be a continuation. One project cannot do everything, so it's good that the European Commission has understood that and has invested in a continuation of projects. There was SOMA, now there is EDMO. EDMO is finishing, there will be the continuation of EDMO. So there is an effort that is carrying on along years. Computational resources are necessary many times for several tasks, and this should also not be underestimated. And things like we also set up centers of excellence in Denmark, in Italy, in Greece, but those need continuous support again to maintain their operation. And the European Commission has also understood that and has supported that, and I will explain how. Something also very important is communication. Such initiatives need to be very well branded, need to be very well communicated, need to be accepted by the public, and for that significant resources are necessary. Advertising campaigns, also paid advertising campaigns can help, but you have to budget such activities. And of course, it needs to be acknowledged from a highest level of some kind of authority. In our case, we hired the European Commission, and the European Commission really helped and promoted these activities, and we got the recognition that was needed. And as I said, this effort continued in the European Digital Media Observatory, which started in 2020, June 2020. Now it is coming to its end, but already we have the continuation planned, which will be initiated in the beginning of next year. And EDMO also, the European Commission, through this network, through this structure of EDMO, also invested in what we call EDMO hubs, which are national or multinational entities, consortia, that bring the experience and the knowledge of different countries. It was what I was saying, one project cannot do everything, and you need to have representatives across the area that you want to be represented. In the first round, we had 8 EDMO hubs accepted, covering the countries that you see here from Europe. And the second round, which is under contracting now, covers also the rest of the countries of Europe. So in a few months, we will have all countries of Europe being represented through EDMO hubs, which connect to EDMO, the central project, and provide the fact checks, provide activities, provide help on events. Some things are done on a local level, on a national level, or on a multinational level, or on a global level. EDMO also provided support like repositories, which are very important, and the hubs help us in this. The hub provide us resources and content. In the central project, we build an interactive map with names and locations of all fact-checking initiatives. We made that sortable and searchable so that people can easily find all these fact-checking initiatives and have easily access to contact information and more detailed information of these initiatives. We also built a repository of research activities, which again was based on an interactive map with names and locations of all organizations that are carrying research in this area, and we made that also, of course, sortable and searchable, providing more and extended information including a repository of scientific publication that's also very helpful to researchers. What is particularly helpful is this repository that we have built and we're continuous building of daily fact checks coming from all EDMO hubs. So we have a central archive where daily fact checks from all over Europe are coming, and they are searchable and accessible to, and also translatable to English or to other languages, so that every member of the community can have immediate access to the work of all other members. And we also provided an archive of fact checks coming also outside Europe from prominent fact-checking initiatives, also including all fact checks that are available through Google Fact Check, which is very helpful as well. And this is the information about these two projects that are going on as I explained. And what I would like to do now is demonstrate the technological infrastructure that we made available, which was quite instrumental in making this happen, which was a collaborative workspace that is where all members are participate and can work together. Some time to refresh. And this works, this operates under a workflow of 3 steps, and we call those find, organize, verify. Under the first step, the finding step, we provide several tools that can help users discover information, like this queries widget, where here we have codified the search, complex search query language of several important platforms like Google, like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, which means that you can easily send a query that you would to formulate that you would have to remember all of the complex language of all these different platforms, but you do it in a visual way. So you just write down your query here. You can also translate it to other languages if you like, and then you can pick from this interface everything that is important for you. For example, you want to search in official sources, you want to look only for PDF files, look on the news of today or not recent, or look for Instagram tags. You want to search for maps, for images, for news, apply different kind of filters. And in a similar way on Twitter, you can apply all the filters that the search API allows you to. Facebook as well, YouTube, for example, you can look for long videos on something I will show you an example, and this opens a tab and brings immediately results that you can easily browse through and have access to. Same thing you can do on Google. For example, you want to look at Instagram tags, and you want to find content on Instagram. So just clicking on random stuff here. On Facebook, just to give you an idea, things that come from public pages, for example. So you can immediately find very quickly information about an investigation you want to carry out. And then what you do, you can immediately open 100 or whatever tabs, which is not practical to maintain. So we have created something that we call a collection. So you create a collection. We will of which you give it a name. You can add some metadata if you like. You can add the working team that will work with you, and you can create this collection. When you create it, all the working team receives notifications and emails with links to those collections, alarming them that you are practically asking them to provide content there. And what you do is you can easily copy any URL and get into this collection, paste the URL, and sometimes you need to provide it with this way. Any item that may come from, for example, Wikipedia. So with, sorry, in the collection, you add it and you can quickly create a collection that is populated with many different items, which you can annotate them, assigning tasks to different users. Persons from your organizations. You can add tags, which can be predefined or can be free text. From here, then you can filter with these tags, so you have an immediate way of practically having sub-collections. You can filter sub-collections. You can filter with different sources. You can filter with assignees, so see what jobs have been assigned to who. Filter with users who have uploaded content in this collection. You have a real-time chat here where you can easily change messages. You can drag and drop items here, so you can easily have conversations with the team instant. And of course, whatever is added by anyone is immediately visible to the rest of the team. You can have notes on the collection. You can quickly write a story on Symbol Editor here. And this is a way of organizing or creating something like a folder, an archive of the work that you are investigating. Now, going back on the find step, another way of monitoring information is what we call streams, live streams, for example, which you can create crawls with following keywords and hashtags from various sources, and we have created here an interface which allows you to quickly browse through this content. You can browse through helpful visualizations that show you how this content is organized. You can, for example, see how the mentions per day are fluctuating. You can look at the top Twitter mentions, you can look at social media reach per day, you can look at top negative mentions, positive mentions, you can look at the sentiment on the whole content that has been gathered, you can look at media type, different most popular images, videos, links, profiles of the most influential people, most active profiles, most mentioned profiles, many visualizations that can help you navigate through this content that you have gathered. Then you can look at daily topics. So for every day, what was more popular with these visualizations, where you can also look at one or more items that are representative. You can look at the trends, which is especially helpful. It shows you how sentiment or hashtags or persons, locations, organizations are fluctuating through time, and you can browse a particular content that is behind those trends. And again, this leads you to items that you can add to your collection and have them and annotate them and note down useful information for the rest of the team. If investigation has finished or the crawl is completed, you can also look at communities. So which are the most prominent communities that have different opinions on this across this discussion, and you can also look at the graph view where it shows who is interacting with whom and what are the more important nodes which you can investigate further. For example, if you're looking at a specific user, this launches a different application which is connected, which is called Truthness, that provides a very deep analysis of the profile of anyone on Twitter, any source on Twitter. So it provides some general information up here, and then a lot of metrics structured under activity, network, and influence. Under activity, for example, we show the weekly activity, we show the time of the day that this account is active, which is important because if you think that you are looking at an account that's handled by one physical person, there should be some resting period, and if the time zone is also correct, this resting period should be during the night time. And for all those metrics, there are hints that explain what you are looking at and what you should be careful about. Many different metrics, posting frequency, the popular tweets of this account, the recent tweets, recent replies, hashtags, so that you see what this account is mostly active on, the users that this account is mentioning, and you can see the actual mentions to see in which way he is interacting with those people. The same with retweets, the people that he retweets mostly, and you can see the actual retweets. The types of tweets, are they original, are they retweets, replies, what type of content do we have, the mentioned websites, the languages that are used, posting tools, posted images, and then under network, you can look at the size of the network, the most important followers. Then we take the followers and group them under those who have normal activity, those who have exceptionally low activity, and those who have exceptionally high activity. The inactive usually are fake accounts. You can go through them. The very, very active are usually bot accounts. So this tells you something about what kind of followers this account has. Under influence, it's important again, we show in what public lists this account has been included, and wherever there is non-English content, Now this is English. Wherever there's non-English content, you can immediately translate it into English. So you see indirectly what other people think of this account. We show average likes and retweets, recent likes and retweets on a timeline. So the mentions received, the replies received, the people who mention this account that are most influential, and people who mention this account most frequently. And again, you can see the mentions received and what kind, and what type of mentions there are. And if there are any other accounts that are using the same name, either in the name field or in the profile field, you get them here. So in this way, you see relevant or even stolen accounts you can discover. And based on those metrics, we create some flags here on the activity, on the influence, and on possibility that this is a bot. You see all those have different rules that fire up, and they lead you to these metrics that I showed you before. If I quickly take you to an account which is actually a bot, it's interesting to see the different rules that are fired up. So here you see no rest during the day, what I was telling you, it's posting continuously or almost continuously. It's only posting retweets, almost all tweets contain mentions. So there are different rules that alarm you to suspicious behavior, and then we're not taking any decisions for you. You are taking the decisions, but we alarm you to behavior that may be interesting for you to monitor. So this is how you can browse through accounts. This works only for Twitter. And other interesting functionality is that you can look for content that has been already fact-checked by prominent fact-checking organizations. That fact checks, we are indexing fact checks that are coming from Google fact checks or from a number, as you see here, different organizations, and you can filter here with organizations, with concepts, with years, with locations, languages, several different ways that help you navigate through the content. And as I told you before, we have also built an archive that includes fact checks that are coming from all EDMO hubs. And here you can easily see what other organizations that are part of the EDMO community have already published. So coming back to the dashboard, which is the landing page, I explained this query widget, and this is also useful because it is the page, the place where you can quickly see your work and through the latest items, for example, the ones that you have published or the ones of your organization. So if you were, I'm looking at the ATC organization now, but I could look at EDMO Hub, so you see what your colleagues are doing. You see the latest activity as well, and the latest collections, your latest collections or the latest collections of your organization. So you have a bird's eye view of what's happening in the workspace. And taking you through the last step as well. How are you doing with time? I told you there is a final step which we call verify, where we get to by clicking on any item on this verification button. And this gets you to this workspace where you have what we call a verification checklist, which is configurable and have several fields. And here all the members of the team are noting down whatever they discover on this during their investigations. And on the right, we have several tools that can help you investigate content further. So, for example, if there is a video, we also have included a deepfake detection tool that breaks the video in different shots and finds the faces in every shot and gives you a probability that the face has been manipulated. This is the known deepfake of Vladimir Putin that was published at some point, calling the Russians to surrender their arms. It doesn't always work. It's not there is no deepfake detection algorithm that gives you 100% certainty that this is a deepfake, but it gives you again an idea. It makes you suspicious, and it helps you look deeper into the content. We have also other tools. If we're looking at images, you can use reverse image search through TinEye, Google, or Yandex, which provide you visually similar content that have been published on the web. And you can see, for example, easily if an image has been used, or a similar image has been used in the past, and you can easily compare the found and the posted image. And you can also use Google and Yandex for that. And some other more simple tools like cropping areas and marking areas, and marking making annotations on different areas of an image, or annotating different frames of a video. On the source, again, here there is a connection to truthness, which I demonstrated to you before, and some quick information about this source. And if you want to investigate locations, we have integrated Google Maps, which you can use in exactly the same way. I'll use it outside. And my time is running out. And you can also use different mapping tools like Wikimapia, Bing Maps, SunCalc, which shows you the shadows at a particular space and time, Dual Maps, Mapillary, different mapping tools that can help you note, investigate locations, and also you can note down a position and save the coordinates, or save it as a location or as a landmark, so that this is available for the rest of the team if you want to mark and say, look, this event has happened at this particular place here. So this is quickly the environment that we have made available to the members of EDMO. And I can also quickly mention a few words about more research tools that we have been developing through the media verification team, where I am a senior researcher, which belongs to the Multimedia Knowledge and Social Media Analytics Lab of the Information Technologies Institute within the Center for Research and Technology. There we have been working in several related projects over the years, and we have made available also, you may be aware of the InVid web verification plugin. It's used by more than 40,000 users. It's fully free and available to anyone, which has grouped several tools like those that we have created, for example, gathering context around items. So you give it a video and it looks and finds you comments on this video that maybe may help you to understand what this video is about and whether this is true or not. We have developed a video near duplicate detection, so you can easily do reverse video search on videos that are interesting and look at databases. We have developed image forensics algorithms that can give you an idea whether an image has been manipulated or not. This deepfake detection, the algorithm that I showed you, that has been integrated into that workspace. Some location extraction mechanisms that, based on the content of an image, it can give you an idea on where this image has been taken, and the network analysis and visualization tool that can help you understand the dynamics, the network dynamics in a data set that you are looking at. So I think that I have used my time. and can be open to questions. All right, I see some questions already here. What is the difference between Google Fact Explorer to the EDMO in linking fact check articles? In EDMO, we use Fact Explorer to bring items that are accessible from there, but we also index other sources, and we also index fact checks that are coming from the EDMO hub. So some are not available through Google Fact Explorer. Some are, but not all of them are indexed there. Do we need any additional plugin to link fact check articles to EDMO? You have to be a member of, you have to belong to an EDMO hub, and the EDMO hubs provide us access through various technical ways to the fact checks that they provide. We don't connect everything because it needs to be from a source that we know. Can we, as independent fact check website, also participate in EDMOs? In EDMO, EDMO is the European Digital Media Observatory, so by definition, it can include only organizations from Europe. So if you are a fact-checking organization from Europe, yes, you can go to the website of EDMO and fill in an application form, and you will have, if you are a fact-checking organization, you will be accepted. The community now has covered all countries in Europe, and I think we have more than 35 fact-checking organizations that belong to the EDMO community. If we will be including more social media sites to the EDMO dashboards, this depends on whether they provide an API or a technical way for us to provide access to those. We take comments from members and from users of the collaborative space called Truly Media, and whatever we find useful, we continuously add more. Truly Media is something that's been continuously improved, and more functionalities are added all the time. I don't see another question.
Nikos, I just had one
Parola,
question.
I cannot hear you.
Very much. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I just had one question that, you know, this is very interesting to see collaboration of the entire Europe into it. But what is your learning? You did point out some problems out there that you are facing during this collaboration. So what is the biggest collaboration challenge in fact checking and social listening, and how are you dealing with it?
As I said, the biggest problem is engagement. Of course, you have to find a way to motivate all the organizations that will participate in such a grouping, in such a community. You may, for example, Facebook provides money for them, and fact checkers fact check items for money, and they don't work together there, but the output of their work is put together in a space, so you can call that some kind of collaboration. In our case, we provide them access to their colleagues, and we provide them this workspace where they can easily work with others that have different expertise. So a fact checker from France can work with a fact checker from Greece on something that they don't understand. They can very easily exchange opinions and knowledge. So this helps them in their work as well. You have to find something in the grouping that you will make, in the community that you will make, find some commonalities, find some differences, and bring the community together, and also ask the community what they would like to gain from that, and provide access to tools and to an environment, perhaps to something that will make their work easier.
Also, this Truly Media, the two products that you shared with us, so thank you very much. The Truth Nest and the Truly Media, is it available only for the members, or people can, like on a
TruthNest is
commercial scale,
openly,
people can
yes, TruthNest is openly available if you go to the address app.truthnest.com. I will copy that in the chat. It's freely available and you can play with it. There is a commercial license for those that want to do more heavy usage, and it works for trying it now and then. But if you want to put more, if you want us to put more resources there, yes, thank you. You can have a commercial license on that, and Truly Media is only available to the Edmo community and also to customers. It is a commercial product that is used by several organizations for their internal verification teams. Reuters, for example, they are using it. ZDF using it. It has been created together with Deutsche Welle, the German international broadcaster. And we have been guided by them, and we are guided also by the users. How can we get access to the website? Yes. As I said, it's not available to without being registered, but you can have access to the website, which explains. I pasted the address www.truly.media, where you can have information on the platform. But as I said, this is open to Edmo members or to customers that get a license. But if you're interested, you can come in contact with me, and I can, people from sales can explain. Yes, you cannot log into Truly Media because, as I said, it is open to only registered members.
Thank you very much, Nikos. I think that's all for the questions we have. Thank you so much for being with us. The session was super, super interesting. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and expertise with us today. We really, really appreciate it. And before we, so thank you everyone for joining us today. And we will see you more again soon for more training sessions. We'll have another special webinar session, and then with a new topic, with a new subject matter expert and trainer. So you can know more about our future trainings on the DataLEADS digital space. So please keep following us there. So we keep posting about our future trainings on it. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for spending your Friday afternoon with us. Thank you so much, Nikos. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you for your kind invitation. Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.